Welcome to Daily Conversation. This is Mr. K.
This is Eric.
Yeah, today is the 28th of June 2021, and the time now is 6:17 a.m. Well, today our topic is why renewables can't save the planet. And before we get started, please click the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel. All right, so here we go. All right, so yeah, this is a video review, right? And you share uh two videos.
Mm,
Yep. And then yeah, I think previously one side we also talk about nuclear energy and also renewables energy. And for me, after watching these two videos, yeah, it do really change something in my mind, which previously I thought renewable energy, so-called the green energy, they are they are the uh, uh, certainly the future. Yeah. But right now we saw that actually those so-called green energy or renewable energies, they are not really so clean. And for these two videos, they mention about many of the disadvantage of the renewable energy, and also mention about the reality that actually using nuclear energy, even though it is not green energy, but comparing to the efficiency uh, of the nuclear energy, it actually um, kind of outperform the renewable energies, right?
mm,
Yeah. And then also for the debates, I also spend time watching the whole debate. And yeah, it is 10 years ago. Yep. And then um yeah, and also there are a lot of people in that hall watching the debates and then change their mind. Yeah, I think mainly because yeah, many of us we seldom hear about the the negative side of the renewable energy. And then previously we also uh, give a lot of good remarks on the solar energy, right? For
mm,
example, we say for electronic car, maybe solar panel can use to be the way to get the energy and then charge the battery. Yep. And yeah, this can also be uh, applied. This is also accessible, but we have to face the fact that same as the topic today, we can't actually save the planet by using renewables energy. Yeah, they are not zero uh, damage to the environment. Yeah, and then we saw that in the first video. Yeah, in order to get renewables energy, we actually sacrifice many things like um, we need the place. Yeah, they call it the land mass, which is the place um, they use, the land they use
mm,
to make the wind turbines. Yep, and then for solar energy, they use it on the desert. Yeah, they cover the desert with solar energy, the solar panel. Yep, and then yeah, that actually also harm the ecosystem. Yeah, and many of the animals are affected. So
For example, like birds, right? Because
mhm,
when the bird fly over the solar farms,
yeah,
they could die.
mm, yeah, yeah. It is too hot, is it?
Yeah, I think because in the
Mm,
video it say the bird will start burning.
yeah, yeah. Right. And then yeah, and then yep. For this one, I think also I forgot about which videos they mentioned that for this solar panel. Yeah, they actually if we keep scaling up the use of solar panels, and then we also have to worry that after 15 or 20 years, these panels need to be replaced with a new one. And how about the waste, the
Mm.
material waste? Yep. And then yeah, it's actually quite sad to know that this kind of renewables energies they are not so green, really.
Mm.
Yep. So yeah, how about nuclear? And then I saw in the second video, and then one thing I still remember well, which is they compare the waste of the coal and the waste of the nuclear energy, right? And
Mm.
they say that if they calculate one person, uh, and then this one person in his whole life, the energy that he consume will only generate a Coca-Cola can size of waste. Yes, which is around I forgot around is a few pounds only, 2 or 5 pounds.
Mm.
Yeah, so uh, we can see that how efficient is the nuclear energy. So and then I think we also face a problem, which for many of the countries is which direction they want to choose. For example, like the France, they mentioned that they use a lot of nuclear energy. So so it is quite obvious that that is their direction, right?
Mm.
Yeah, and for other countries, some countries keep improving and keep scaling up those renewable energies, for example, wind and solar. So yeah, I think this is the difficult things for the countries to decide uh, which direction to go, and then with the pressure of uh, some international or maybe some how to say some union is it union environmental groups. Yeah, they will have what the emission the CO2 emission uh, um, something like they have to achieve, right? They have
Mm.
a mission to
They
achieve.
have a goal to achieve zero emission
Mm,
environment. Is it
mm,
something like that?
yeah, yes, yep. So yeah, I think it's a difficult question for them whether to choose this renewables energy, because it is not something that you can do in the short term, right? You have to make it like a plan which is longer term. Also mentioned in the second video, they say even if you want to build the nuclear power plants, you have to spend an
Mm.
average of I forgot, maybe it's 3 or 5 years. Yeah. So yeah, I think this is the difficult part. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah. So, what about you? What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, when I first watched the first video and also start searching the nuclear energy,
Mm.
and then it completely changed my mind
Yeah.
because in the video it actually did one comparison, which is the air pollutions and
Mm.
also, for example, like the water pollutions compared
Yeah.
to the person who will kill in the meltdown of nuclear plant. And
Mm.
meltdown of nuclear plant, actually, the person who directly killed by the nuclear meltdown is
Mm.
actually zero.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
No one died in a meltdown of nuclear plant.
Mm.
But how about the air pollution? How about the water pollution? This is a
Yeah.
huge amount.
Right.
And if we burn the coal, if we burn the fossil fuel,
Mm.
and also maybe a new natural gas, and it actually hurts. It actually pollute the air, and human breathe in the air where the air is polluted, and it may
Mm.
harm your health, and it may hurt your body, and
Yeah.
then you and you also need to, let's say you need to go see the doctor. When you go see a doctor, it's actually cost you some money. So it
Mm.
is not only about the it's not only about the how many people die. It's also about the economic.
Mm.
And many people
Yeah.
will lose a lot of money. So this is something like the external cost. So
Mm.
external cost of using the renewable energy. And if you're standing by an economic viewpoint,
Yeah.
the cost of implement implementing the renewable energy like solar, wind, and it is not only the cost you pay for it, and also the social cost, how many people die, and also the opportunity cost of the labor,
Mm.
and also the money you need to spend in hospital, in medical. And by doing that, if you combine together, and you can get, actually nowadays the cost of renewable energy is still way high, way higher than the uh let's say the if you're just using like the natural gas.
Mm.
If you're just using natural gas, yeah, it's way higher than that.
Yeah.
Because in the first video it also mentions, if you use the renewable energy, and because the energy is not sustainable, and you need to buy in the 30 energy in order to fill the gap when
Yeah.
when the energy is not produced.
Mm.
For example, there's no sunny day, and also it's not windy day,
Yeah.
and your city still needs the electricity, still need the energy, and then you need to buy the energy from other country, from other cities, and from other energy plants, which is not
Mm.
considered green energy. And it
Yeah.
actually increase the level of using dirty energy, so that we can have something quite ridiculous in Germany. They, they keep pushing the green energy like solar and wind,
Mm.
but actually end up that they pollute. They have a higher level of air pollution.
Yeah.
but for the but for the country like Finland, and who embrace the nuclear energy, and then the air pollution, and also the electricity cost reduce a lot. And for those countries who embrace the renewable energy, their energy cost didn't increase a lot. Didn't decrease a lot, but actually increased because
Yeah.
the energy is not sustainable, and we need to buy the energy from other source. Need to prepare for it, and then because maybe the cost of buying the cost of buying a small portion of the energy, and also because your demand is not fixed, so the power plant will sell you a higher rate.
Yeah.
So this could be the reason why the electricity cost actually increased. And also be not that renewable energy like solar and wind, the cost is actually not that low. Yeah, even though we saw nowadays actually the solar energy is the cheapest energy source. Yeah. But how about if you want to scale up, if you want to like build a solar farm, and it could be a different scenario. For example, if you just build, let's say like 1 megawatt, or maybe like let's say like 1,000 kilowatt. So you're using solar, maybe this is the maybe you can enjoy the cost efficiency. But if you want to build a huge farm,
Yeah.
let's say 50 mega megawatts, or more than that, like 100 megawatts, or maybe like even bigger, 1 gigawatt. And then you're not able to do that by using the solar,
Yeah.
because you need to invest more. You need to invest more the solar panel in order to keep the energy sustainable. And also you need the battery to store the energy. So that means
Yeah.
if you want to use solar alone to achieve and also to support the whole city electricity, this is not possible.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is actually what the first video talk. And then so that we actually need more sustainable energy, and also consider green.
Yeah.
So nuclear is actually is the only one option. Yeah, it's actually the only one option that the scientists can found, the energy scientists can found. But nuclear have its risk. And the risks come from three ways. The first is the meltdown, and second is the waste, the
Yeah.
nuclear waste, and the
Yeah.
third is the fear. So this is three obstacles that the nuclear scientists and also the people who embrace nuclear energy need to find way to fight for this, and also to explain to educate the public in order to reduce the fear. And also the scientists, technologies also need to find a way to reduce the risk of meltdown, and also the disposal of the waste, nuclear waste.
Yep.
And then some other arguments, which is if you give a chance to other country to build a nuclear plant, and could it beat the country do some research, and also do some nuclear bomb research under the nuclear plant?
Yeah.
And also it could be a risk.
Mm.
It this is something a nuclear weapon.
Yeah.
So we kind of want to eliminate the nuclear bomb. Yeah, because in long term it didn't help any one country, even the country who use the nuclear bomb, and it will also damage the country. It will hurt the country in long term,
Mm.
and
Yeah.
and definitely it will hurt the earth. So this is something that we don't want to see.
Mm.
So we kind of reject the nuclear plant, and also we also um, kind of reject the idea, reject the proposal of some developing country who want to build a nuclear plant.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Especially for those country who who have a black history in the past. Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm. So how can this resolve? And then is it something too good to be true?
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because the risk, and also one of the risks is actually if you build a nuclear plant and then you have a lot of nuclear plants, and then how about some communists, and then they want they want to create some trouble, and then
Mm.
they just attack the power plant, the
Yeah.
nuclear power plant, and then cause the nuclear power plants meltdown. It also could be one of the risks.
Yeah.
But for renewable energy like wind and also solar, they can't do that. They just can destroy the farm, but
Mm.
they can't like create a uh bigger destroy to the
Yeah.
society. Mm.
Yeah.
And this is the second video. This reads is actually explained well in the second video.
Mm.
Mm. Yeah. So do you think, yeah, after you watch these two video,
Yeah.
which one you more which one you still more prefer? Nuclear
Um.
or something like the solar, wind, or hydro?
Okay. For this one, I think um if we can and then both of these need to be applied. And
Mm.
one of the reason is that consider some of the countries, maybe they are small uh, in terms of the at the area of the country, and then they may not be able to build so many renewables energy. So in that case, it ends up a situation that they have to find other ways to get electricity, maybe to buy from other countries, and yeah, this isn't the things that they want, right? Because if you rely the electricity on other countries, then actually it is something like a loss of sovereignty of a country. Yep.
Mm.
So for them, maybe nuclear plants is a better choice because it won't require a big a large area to build it. So they can build it and then they can get enough electricity for the countries. And then for bigger countries like let's say the China, yeah, I think yeah, maybe in some area they can use renewable energies, and I think they are also they has been doing that too. to scale up the renewables energy. Yep. So to me, I think when choosing these two sites, the nuclear and the renewables, um, yeah, it is um, uh, that there is no a best option. Yeah. So
Mm,
either one you choose, and then you lost something.
yeah,
Yep.
but but if but if but if nuclear is so clean and also is so green,
Mm,
and then you think the risk is actually lower than the benefit, why you still want to invest money to build the solar farms, the wind farm, the hydro farm?
mm. Yeah, I think.
Because money also has this opportunity cost.
Mm, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So if you can only so because you have limited capital,
Mm,
yeah, and then if you if you pursue the renewable energy, you may end up become the country like Germany. And if you pursue the nuclear energy, you could be end up like a country like the Finland.
mm,
Mm.
yeah.
And also for small country, do you think they have enough technology, knowledge, and capability to build nuclear plants?
Mm,
Wouldn't wouldn't
yeah.
it create wouldn't it actually create trouble?
Yep. Yep.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I look at I look at the official website of
Mm,
the Singapore, the NEA, National, I forgot already about National Electricity Agency or something like that.
yeah.
And it actually did mention that Singapore currently didn't build any nuclear plants, and Singapore government also seeking some opportunity to learn more, to explore more about the latest uh, nuclear plants technology.
Mm,
Yeah, and then and then why and also the latest nuclear plants, which is the nuclear 4.0 generation. I'm not sure whether you heard this before. Yeah,
oh,
it actually use another material to do the reactions.
oh,
Mm. And the past, it seems like they use something like the uh uranium 238 or something like that. I forget about the names. And
okay.
and after that they use another material, another nuclear material to power the plant. And it is it actually reduces the waste, and it actually is more safer, and also the it is cost efficient. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Singapore government, they think that because this is a new technology,
Mm,
they're not sure whether it uh, it can it can be stand over times. So they kind of wait and see,
yeah.
and then they have the plans, but sorry they know nuclear is good, and also but by considering Singapore, the size of the country is so small.
Mm,
If there's a meltdown of nuclear plants, it will create more trouble. So
yeah.
actually, the cost is greater than the benefits.
Mm,
Mm,
yeah. And I think uh, the public approval will be a big challenge to Singapore.
mm.
Yep. And then yeah, suddenly I recall something about nuclear plant, and they say we need to um provided uh, uh, a space for nuclear plants. I mean, around the nuclear plants, maybe you cannot build houses or any other things.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah. So I think also maybe for Singapore, if they want to build it, it will also uh, will need the space. Yeah. So that will be something challenging.
Mm.
Yep, and yeah, for one thing, I'm not very sure whether it is related. I think it happened uh, years ago. It is in Japan, and they say there is the pollution of the nuclear energy, right? And then it seems like the pollutants goes into the sea and affected uh, the 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 fish. Have you heard about this?
No, it
Oh,
means the waste, the nuclear waste go into the
it's not
sea.
a waste. It seems like I am not sure whether it's the waste or some accidents. Yeah, I'm not very sure.
Mm. Yeah, but animal and plants have uh, have greater adaptability than humans. So if let's say an
Mm,
area is let's say previously for example like the Fukushima, and also one of the nuclear plants which already melt out is the Chernobyl. Yeah, I think it's Chernobyl if I'm not pronounced wrong.
okay.
And and how about the effect? How about impact to human body?
Uh,
Is
uh,
it just about the X-ray? Is it just about the 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 people in the country just doing an X-ray? This is the impact.
um, what do you mean X-ray here?
Because the meltdown of nuclear plants. And
Mm,
why you worry about the meltdown of nuclear plants? Because because the the nuclear wave and then the nuclear has been explored to the country people, right?
yeah.
Yeah. And then why you worry about that? Because you worry about, for example, like the mutation of your genes, and then it
Mm,
actually hurt your body and it
yeah.
actually cause some cancer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Mm,
But what is the impact? How serious it was?
um, yeah, I think it is also serious, right? Consider um, it seems like these kind of pollutions uh, is not short term, and then it affect the food supply
Mm,
in the sea, and if people keep consuming the food supply which is polluted, and yeah, I think it's also something we cannot ignore.
but no one died in previous two and also the largest meltdown of nuclear plant. Yeah, no people died in that. So how serious the impact? And in some other video, I think it's not mentioned in these two video. Maybe it's in other video. And the impact is actually like the people in the country, the people in the area doing an
Mm,
X-ray. So you go to hospital and do an X-ray,
Yeah.
And then this is the impact. Yeah, it's the impact is similar to that.
Oh,
You
so it
get what I
means
mean?
that the harm actually is not that significant. It is just the same as the 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 side effect of having an X-ray scan.
Yeah. And but I think but I think distance is but I think the distance is quite far in this case. And if you are the person who stands who stand in front of the nuclear plants, and when the nuclear plant melt out and you didn't go away, and then the damage to your body, it could be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. You send me a link, and
Ah.
this is a second, and also this is the second largest meltdown, and also the last meltdown, the nuclear plant, which is the Fukushima, if I didn't pronounce wrong. Yeah.
Oh.
Mm.
Yep.
Yeah. But just now you also mentioned about like the food chain, and also like the supply chain. It could be one of the problem.
Yeah.
And if you didn't harm the humans, and if you didn't harm the animal, and then if we can't ignore those animals intact by human would cause damage. If we just look at like the plants, and also like the land, and also uh some animal in the area, maybe they could die, and you also could hurt the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Mm. But you need to compare. You need to compare the harm to the ecosystems between the nuclear, and also between the nuclear and like the solar, wind,
Yep.
and also the car, and also the and also like the dirty energy like the coal. And those dirty energy definitely create more harm to the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Okay, and the last question to you: do
Yep.
you think is renewable energy really can't solve the problem? So that means this is about the title. Yeah, the title of this the title of this uh video is actually the renewable energy didn't solve uh di- didn't solve the problem, or didn't save the world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why
Um.
renewable why renewable energy can't save the planet? And do you think renewable energy really can't save the planet?
Um. I think for the technology now, uh, it is still uh, there is still a far distance before we can really go into uh, the real green energy. Um, yeah, I think it's the technology problem.
What's
Um,
the problem?
let's say if they can have higher technology to store uh, the the electricity that uh, they um, they have produced.
Come from the
maybe
solar, come from
yeah,
the solar
maybe.
farm and wind farm, right?
Yeah, yep. And also, this is one point to store, and then maybe it's the conversion, which is the efficiency of the particular way of generating the energy. Let's say the solar panels. Yep, if they can make it more efficient, let's say improve another 10 or 20% um, of the conversion rate, then that will be a big improvement, right?
Mm,
It is not something that cannot be improved. It is not fixed yet.
mm,
Yeah, so I think we still can have the potential uh, for these renewables energies.
mm.
Yeah, but also for nuclear, they can find ways to make it more and more efficient and then safer. Yeah, there is also potential.
Yeah,
So, mm,
and so one of the point for the nuclear plant, if you want to build a big nuclear plant, maybe you need more than 8 or 10 years. If you want to build a small nuclear plant, you need
mm,
maybe still need more than 5 years.
mm,
Mm.
yeah.
So after 5 years, how about the improvement in nuclear? So how about improvement in the solar?
Mm. Yeah, also mentioned in the second video, right? But
Mm.
at that time, I think it is still not the time that we have a significant improvement, right?
Yeah, and one people in the
Mm,
second video, it says we should underestimate the exponential growth
mm,
of the solar.
yeah.
Mm, yeah, but 10 years after, we still, our solar energy still didn't uh, improve a lot.
Mm,
Maybe it actually improved a lot. It become very, very cheap, the solar panel.
yeah.
But but we still we still able to achieve uh, the goal that's to scale up by just using the solar panel
Mm,
and also by using the solar energy.
yeah.
And then just now you talk about technology advance and try to imagine what Tesla want to do now. Actually want to sell the solar panel to every household. And then please imagine if every household can install the solar panel on their house roof,
Mm,
and it could be a big impact to the whole energy market, because when the sun is shining, and then you can get free energy, so you consume less,
mm,
and every household do the same.
yeah.
Yeah, and then the energy you need to buy from the uh from the market, and also from the, let's say, the power plant, will be reduced.
Mm,
And then what kind of energy will survive? What kind of energy plant eventually will survive? It also could be. It's another problem. Maybe we become the country like Germany. You have a lot of solar energy, but
yeah.
at the same time you need the sustainable energy. So if the power plant also build the also using the solar energy, and then all the household also using the solar energy, and then when 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 there's no sun, and then the whole city no electricity to use, so you need the sustainable energy. So that means maybe the power plant will use like natural gas, fossil fuels, and also like the coal, burning the coal in order to support the sustainable energy. So maybe at the end, the energy cost increase,
Yeah.
and then the air pollution increase.
Mm,
It could be one of the direction. It could be one of it could be one of the uh one of the reality that how it could be happen. And another 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 possible reality, maybe the power plants using like the wind plant and using the hydro and also using the nuclear,
Mm.
and then it can produce a sustainable energy, but it doesn't need so much energy. So how it could be work, we don't know. We
Mm.
still need
Yep.
to see. And also about the solar energy, especially solar energy, can the AI solve the problem? Maybe AI can detect which area is shining and which area is
Mm.
not. And then it
Yep.
can help to allocate the energy flow and
Mm.
also help to estimate how much energy you need.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah, so you can produce the energy in advance to support when there is a certain period the sun is not shining and there's no
Mm.
wind.
Yes.
Mm.
Yes.
So maybe AI can also help in this. Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And yeah, I think maybe they can use something like historical data for a particular area. I think in some countries, the sunshine is quite fixed. For example, in Asian country, right?
Mm.
We don't have the four seasons. So yeah, I think they can get something like you said, to calculate the some data.
Yeah. But AI is not just calculating the data. It's
Mm,
not AI can learn by themselves. This is about the machine learning.
yeah.
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 So they can predict the weather better than human at the end.
Mm,
Just like at the end of, just like maybe 5 years later or 10 years later, human wouldn't drive the car by their own because
mm,
machine and AI can do way better than that than
mm.
human.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm,
Yeah. And I think storage is still a key point here.
mm,
Because for the solar panel, because previously my family and well, we actually consider whether to install the solar panel to my father's factories. And then after that, because consider the risk, which we have to pay a big amount of money um, in the first year, and then it is something like an investment. We can earn money from that, but it takes some time.
mm.
And then so we decided not to do that. And yeah, but looking at these things, if we install the solar panels, uh, one thing can be sure is that because for each, let's say the factory or the household, if we install the solar panel on our roof, and then mostly we will get more energy than we use. We don't talk about those apartment or flat. We will talk about some factories which they are bigger, or some houses. Yeah. Um,
Just now you say we'll get more energy than we use, or we
uh,
will use more energy than we get.
for the case of my father's factory, actually uh, we can generate more energy,
Oh,
and then we can sell it back to the country, which is the TNB in Malaysia,
mm, mm,
and then they will have a rate which we can actually earn money from that.
mm.
And the solar panels providers, the company also help us to make an estimation, and then to get something like how many years for us uh,
Break
break
even.
even, yeah, and then to start earning money from that. Yeah, and
Mm,
then they come out with a figure like 6 or 7 years after that, and then we actually earn money from electricity instead of keep paying the electricity bill.
Mm.
Yep, and then consider the lifetime of the panels. Estimated is 15 to 20 years.
Mm.
Yep. So yeah, go back to my point. If like you said, if let's say solar panels is widely accepted by the public and then by the countries and the government, maybe they give some uh, uh, grant. Yeah, I mean
Mm.
they pay some of the cost to install the solar panel,
Mm.
and then yeah, if also at the same time if we have the technology to store the electricity better, and then I think in some countries it is actually uh, kind of feasible can
Mm.
do.
And every household can install solar panel, but uh, not every city can build a nuclear plant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm. Yeah, and also if every household install the solar panel, the electricity market become decentralized.
Mm,
It's not only depends on the single bigger producer.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah.
Yeah, and also uh, yeah, suddenly I forget what I want to say. Mm, okay, yeah. One question is, do you
Mm,
still remember the solar panels that your father company need to their father factory need to install?
yeah.
How much money it costs?
Um, I forgot is 90K, and then we can get support of 20K from government, or
Oh.
70K and we can get 20K. I forgot is whether
Mm.
the
Mm.
the last cost is
Mm.
50K or 70K. I forgot.
Mm.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it
And
depends on the how many solar panels you use you you
mm.
uh you decided to have.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also about the waste of the solar panel. After 20 years, after 25 years, you have a lot of waste come from the solar panel.
Yeah.
And but if at that time human have a better solution to deal with the waste,
Mm.
it could solve the problem. And
Yeah.
also maybe if it really cannot like it really cannot like recycle or reuse the solar panel or repair the solar panel, and maybe you can send to the universe. Mm. Put in the
Mm.
rocket and send to the universe. Yeah. And how about the nuclear? How about nuclear waste? Mm. Can we put into the rocket and send to the universe? It
We
could
can
be a
also,
problem.
right, if we
Mm.
can keep if we can keep them properly, we didn't
Mm.
make it leak to the environment.
Yeah. But if you compare like this, then nuclear waste become irrelevant, and also the solar waste also become irrelevant. Which one is more attractive to you?
Um, in terms of waste, the nuclear I think uh is better off.
Mm.
Yeah, but at the same time, I still have some uh fear. Maybe is my I don't have much knowledge about the nuclear. Yeah, I
Mm.
still have some fear, like maybe it will have some explode and explosion, or having some accidents and then cause pollution, something like that. And
Yeah,
also
because of
worry
the
about
risk.
the war.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I think if in current situations and you want to let everyone to make decisions, they will prefer solar.
Yeah.
Because nuclear have the risk.
Mm.
Mm. And if we can solve the waste of, we can save the waste problem come from the solar panel, and then it actually is also a big improvement in solar
Yeah.
because that means this energy become more green.
Mm.
Mm.
Yes.
And to bear in mind that once you build the solar panel and you can get the free energy, and then for nuclear plants, you still need people to operate, you still need people to control the plants, and then to do the maintenance, to do the, we need to repair and doing some other thing, and then you need to purchase the material, the
Mm.
nuclear, the material that they use for the energy,
Yeah.
and then the cost is not zero.
Mm.
You still need to pay the cost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And by considering these two, which one have more incentive for public to do, to pursue? I think solar.
Mm. Yeah.
Because they
Uh.
can produce energy by themselves.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm.
So if we go for nuclear, it's something like it become more centralized. If we go for solar, it become more decentralized.
Mm. Yeah.
Mm. And also one of the maybe because I lack of knowledge, I'm not sure if every household they put a solar panel on their roof,
Mm.
will it hurt the birds, will it hurt the animal like that, will it hurt the ecosystem?
Mm.
This is
Yeah.
also something that I'm not sure.
Right. Mm. Because if everybody do it, there will be a uh, big amount, right? Large amount of solar panels in the
Mm,
cities.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So not sure whether it will hurt the birds.
Mm.
And yeah, because we know from the video if the birds fly fly above the solar farm, and then it will burn.
Yeah.
The bird will die. But I'm not sure it's because of the size of the solar farm is too big, and then there are a lot of solar panel,
Mm.
and then because something like the reflections, and then cause the bird burning. For
Mm.
example, if we take, I'm not sure when you are a child whether you have or whether you have tried this before. You take the what is it called, the
I checked the words magnifying lens,
yeah
right?
yeah, you know what I want to say, the 放大
Yeah.
镜.
Yeah, because I
Yeah,
tried. I played it when I was young.
yeah. The magnifier, is it magnifier?
Magnifying lens.
Okay, magnifying length. Yeah, if you take the magnifying length and you and maybe uh you put under the sun,
Yeah.
and then you put above the paper, and then the paper will start burning.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
if you and if you put above your skin, let's say your hand, and
Yeah.
after a few seconds, maybe 1 or 2 seconds, you'll feel your skin is burning and
Yeah.
very hot. Very,
Mm.
yeah, it's yeah, it's quite hurt.
Yeah.
Mm, yeah. So I'm not sure it's because of this kind of concept, because the solar panel is too much, and then the reflection goes into one point, one single point,
Mm.
and then the bird fly fly to the point, and then the bird start burning.
Mm. Yep.
I'm not sure it's whether this uh this kind of event cause a bird burning.
Mm. Yeah.
If
And
this is the case, Yeah, and if this is the case,
Yeah.
it may not be the problem when we install solar panel in every household.
Mm. Yeah.
Okay, so at the end, yeah, ask you the question again.
Uh,
Solar, uh, solar and nuclear. Which one you prefer?
Actually, I prefer solar because the consequence is something that we can imagine. Uh, but for the nuclear, it seems like it still have a lot of question marks, which may happen when something happen. For example, what about if there is an earthquake and
Mm,
then some special events which will cause maybe greater consequence.
mm. Yeah, and that consequence is unmanageable, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the consequence come from the solar panel is manageable.
Mm.
Mm. So it's something like when you're buying a stock, there's an unlimited upside and there's a limited downside because
Mm.
you know if you put in $1,000 and then you only lose $1,000 at most,
Yeah.
but it could have unlimited upside. So solar is something like there is unlimited upside,
Mm.
and nuclear it seems like there's limited upside because everyone can get cheap energy, but you still need to pay for it, and then more green, good for the environment, and that's it. But there is a lot unlimited downside.
Mm.
There's a downside, and then the most serious downside is it may hurt the earth, and then it may hurt the environment, and then make the earth uh not suitable for human to stay.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here we're not talking about the meltdown of nuclear plants. We're talking about whether it can, whether by encouraging the nuclear plants implementation, it also encourage the
Mm.
nuclear bomb innovations.
Yeah.
Mm, we're also not sure. Yeah. Okay, so do you have anything more to add in?
Yeah, certainly I have one thinking question.
Mm,
Yeah, today we are still using the fossil fuels, right? The gas and then petrol.
mm,
Yeah, if let's say one day we found that actually we wrongly estimate the storage of the fossil fuels, which maybe let's say if we still have the storage to support us, let's say for 500 years.
mm.
So do you think we still go for green energy and nuclear, or to just go back to the fossil fuels?
Uh, you means we actually have more fossil fuel than
Yeah,
the
we estimate.
than we estimate.
Mm.
So we underestimate, is it?
Yeah, yeah.
I think okay, I think the renewable energy part is inevitable. So that means uh no matter no matter no matter what happens, we'll go for these directions. Mm.
Um, yeah, but consider knowing that we still have so many, uh, this kind of fossil fuels energy, and I think that the price of the fossil fuels will also goes down, and this make the green energy, something like expensive to do it, right?
Mm. Yeah. But for our currents like the petroleum is
Mm.
also a lot. Yeah, and look at the crude oil and the Saudi Arabia. and also some other country who produce the crude oil. They need to cut the supply. Yeah, and they are not willing to cut the supply. They want to produce more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when every and when everybody in the OPEC in the organizations,
Yeah.
and when they decided to cut the supply, and then the crude oil price will increase. And when they produce a lot, the crude oil price will reduce a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in a pandemic, and no one using the crude oil because economy slow down and stop, and the crude oil price can go below 10, what we seen in March, and also the futures of the crude oil can go to negative. Yeah. So this kind of energy, the storage of this, like the crude oil and also fossil fuel, is more than we can imagine actually. Yeah, it's now it's actually more than we can imagine. And few years ago, US actually innovate a new technology to extract the crude oil. I'm not sure it's fossil fuel or the crude oil from the rock. Yeah. So
yeah, I heard before.
yeah, in the past we just we can only extract the crude oil, the natural gas, because I'm not sure whether these three things is bundled together: fossil fuel, and also the natural gas. Fossil fuel end up become the crude oil, right?
Yeah. I'm also not sure.
Yeah. So fossil fuel and the natural gas, if I'm not wrong, they are bundled together.
Yeah.
And in the past, we can only extract the fossil fuel from the sea, under the sea, and then now we can extract the fossil fuel from the rock. Yeah. So does this actually stop down the renewable energy? Does it slow down the growth of the renewable energy? No, actually didn't.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe for these things we consider more other than the cost, maybe is the negative impacts like pollution, the global warming, something like that, right?
And government play an important role in this case, because government need to subsidize the company who embrace the renewable energy.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else?
No, that's all.
So that's all for our today conversations. How do you feel? Did you enjoy the conversations? Please tell us what you think of our conversation. And we are not native speakers. If you found any vocabulary mistake that we made, please also comment to let us know, because we want to learn more and improve ourselves. Remember to like and subscribe to us. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.